Welcome back to another Top Kid game. This game was played early this morning, so I was not able to do live commentary, so I'm gonna look over the pre-recorded footage now. And I'm playing Han2, pretty similar to what I played in Malmö, except I mainboard 3 K2s here and 3 Great Dragons, no pillages. I'm thinking whether or not I can attack the hand is a little bit conditional, so I'm rather siding those in and opting more for a main deck against aggro with base and Wookiees. And today I am playing against a Boba green, but not the 30 up base value town we've seen going around, but more a tempo focused ECL version, focusing a lot on the Toro ability to ready with 3 bounty guild initiates and a ruthless assassin actually. So pretty nice. Notably no 4-lums but 3 Zuckus. I guess Zuckus is a great target for energy conversion lab. But yeah. So from my experience, Han Blue has a lot better chances against the 30 alpha version, because you can just outvalue with the great late game. Here it's more about not getting aggroed down. So without further ado, let's go to the footage. So we're rolling for initiative here. I'm playing the footage back in 1.4 speed. Since when we're playing these Top Kid games, we normally take some time to think about our actions. So the opening hand, yeah, and sadly we're not able to see Cody's hand because this was recorded from my perspective when we played the game. So just going to be able to talk about my plays here, and of course reflect over Cody's plays, how they impact the game. Looks like I'm researching the Wookiee and base. I think at this point I was a little bit forgetting that Cody does not mainboard Boba Fett's armor. So I actually have no reason to keep Confiscate here. And that's a good thing for us, because Boba Fett's armor is one thing that's pretty hard to deal with. Normally the game plan is to attack in with 4 power and then use takedown to take out Boba or Confiscate. But I think here I realize, okay, there's no armor right now, so I'm resourcing Confiscate. And Yoda start, I would say, is pretty nice into Boba. The problem is Crafty is kind of the best answer. Viper Droid and Greedo would of course trade. And here I'm considering whether or not to play the Wookiee or Kanan. The good thing about Kanan is that I could put 4 damage on the board, which could attack into Boba next turn if they ramp and get Boba out. But that would only work if they ramp with resupply. If they have Super Laser Technician, they could ECL into Kanan and he would die. And Toro here is also a really good play for Boba. We have takedown, so we could just get rid of Toro. But I am not entirely sure if that's the best line. We should expect maybe to see ramp from Boba, or a bounty hunter to ready Toro could also happen. So playing Kanan for 4 is also a decent stat line. That might be what we want to do. I decided to attack the Crafty Smuggler here because then the Wookiee gets grit going. So it's a 4-2 now. And here I'm deciding to pass. I don't know if that's a good decision. It could end up losing the initiative, right? Then Cody ECLs a crafty smuggler to take out the Wookiee, and I just answer with a takedown. But now I can feel a bit bad about that decision. Kanan probably would have been better here, so I still would have had takedown for the 7th Fleet Defender. So not looking too good. Board state is kind of hard to deal with right now, considering Boba's deploying as well. The Obi-Wan top deck is pretty nice, but even nicer is Force Throw, because Force Throwing a Chewbacca or Redemption onto Boba and killing it in one action is like probably the best thing you could do. So I'm going for that line here with playing Kanan. Problem, however, is I'm not playing a round of Overwhelming Barrage, which is gonna really punish that play. I guess deploying Han first could have been a little bit better. We probably would have seen an attack with Crafty then. But still. And a big problem now is I resourced Obi-Wan also. I'm just using Force Throw because I don't have Obi-Wan anymore, so it's not gonna work that way. The reason I resourced Obi-Wan is because Redemption is super good against Boba. That's one of the cards that kind of make you win this matchup, when you're able to heal and trade with the Fire Spray. But as long as that 7th Fleet Defender is there, it's kind of problematic because it can just take out Redemption. And I also really like Chewie because it's a 2-for-1. But now I get mega punished for resourcing Obi-Wan. Drawing another Chewie and another Redemption is probably the worst I could draw here. And with 10 damage on Cody's board, it's probably game over. They still have 5 resources to do something with. They did not decide to resource, so we're not going to see a Fire Spray come down this turn. But, I mean, I would be happy about the Fire Spray because I have Felder Dragon in hand. But, yeah. A bit unfortunate not drawing better there. A Luke would maybe have been the best, taking out the 7th Fleet Defender. But still, it's a very difficult position to get back from. But then Luke into Redemption, healing 6 next turn. Could be good. Sorry about my voice, a bit early. Alright. So I'm just passing, hoping for maybe a Zuckuss or anything to use Felder Dragon on, but Overwhelming Barrage means that there's nothing we can do. Fel does not target leaders, so we're gonna take 6 damage here. And then I might as well scoop. So Cody readies 2 resources, and he can now play the Bounty Guild Initiate, attacking with Toro again, and that means I die in 1 action next turn, even with some great top decks. So the sideboard here is pretty interesting. Normally I go for Hand Disruption quite heavily against Boba, with trying to get K2s into pillages, but with this more aggressive list it can be hard if you don't manage to completely empty their hand. But I'm still deciding on getting pillages and Rivals Fall in, removing the Wookiees. I feel like they trade pretty poorly with the early game plays. Might be a mistake though, because as I said, you want to contest early, and now I don't have that many cards to play on turn 1 anymore. I wouldn't say it's the worst not having a turn 1 play, but it is a bit bad. So as you can see from the way I've built this list, it's very late game focused. I decided to opt out of the 2 drops because I had pretty bad experience with them into Sabine when they just get ECL'd. But I think that was a decent call for Sabine, but for many other matchups it's not as good. So this hand is actually okay if you accept the fact that there was no turn on play. But I decided to greed a little bit and I got very much rewarded. K2 is very nice to see, because if we top deck any pillages we might be able to completely empty Cody's hand. But Cassian being answered by Greedo is not that good for us. I'm thinking here I'm gonna try to go for keeping the initiative. If I trade, I'm gonna lose it if Cody just plays a unit and claims. So I'm going base, and then I'm gonna play K2. And K2 into Greedo is a decent attack. We're gonna get some damage there. This is not really about racing, but seeing Super Laser Technician on Cody's side is a bit bad for us. They could just claim now, attack K2, ramp, but I guess it's also a decent play to just get damage in while you can. So they do. Open fire is okay. It's not a pillage. It looks like it though, with the aggression aspect. So I'm going to trade with Greedo here. Deal 3 damage overwhelm, and the Cody misses the when defeated effect. So Cassian will still be healthy. And seeing Cody discard a fire spray here is pretty brutal. That means there are a lot of great cards in his hand. So not a good sign. I decided to pass just so I can attack Cassian into Boba. There is an argument for maybe playing open fire first in case there was an armor in Cody's hand, because then Boba would be in takedown range if they played armor now. But this way we'll be able to clear Boba completely, and a 7 fleet defender is not the worst we could see right now. So actually it looks quite a lot better than last turn, even though Cody ramped this time. So I'm kind of hoping we could still be able to attack Cody's hand, so I decided to keep K2 instead of Kanan. Might be a mistake because getting some health here is also pretty important. And seeing Fire Spray come out is rough. We're gonna take a lot of damage from that, and especially not being able to get Redemption out next turn. Feather Dragon would have been a nice top deck. Takedown is also okay. We can get rid of the 7 fleet defender so that Redemption will have no poor trade. So we're gonna do that. And now it looks okay for us. We have a decent ground. We have 2 redemptions, which is really good. That's probably going to win us the game. But notably Cody still has ECL. So he could, for instance, be able to ECL a, what's it called? 7 fleet defender, or a mercenary gunship. I think he plays those. But overwhelming barrage taking out Obi-Wan is a bit brutal. Means we're gonna take 7 now, and that means 1 surprise strike on fire spray is enough to take us out. So looking not that good here. Chewbacca is a bit too slow for his board state. Would rather see a third redemption, to be honest. But we're gonna have to play redemption. And you could argue maybe not to fully heal here, so that he doesn't die from ECL. But I'm just doing it and hoping that he doesn't have anything and we'll get this super nice trade with fire spray. Because that's how you win these games, is when Boba doesn't have an answer and you just trade a 6-1 with fire spray. But sadly, the second barrage comes out, killing both of our units. And now we really need the Hail Mary here. So we're gonna take 10 damage. And Cody luckily does not have anything else to play. Luke is nice to see, but we're gonna have to play redemption, otherwise we just die. And again, I decide to fully heal. So, taking the initiative, nothing else to do here. And I think this is the time we get punished. Yeah, so Mercenary Gunship will ECL in and kill redemption. Which means if we would have only gone down to 4 health, we would have at least traded with fire spray. And then we could have killed Greedo first action. But we would have 3 more damage on our base. No, because we wouldn't take 5 from fire spray. We would be... yeah. So that was a, I guess, misplay there. Also in game 1, resourcing Obi-Wan was pretty bad. I guess we got some bad top decks, but that was it. Let's take a quick look at the bracket. If you don't want to get spoiled, if you haven't watched any games you still want to look at, then you are warned. Oh, sorry, I don't have that prepared. Give me 1 second. There we are. Okay. So we're now on to the top 8. None of the games have been played yet. Adam, I'm so humble, won yesterday against Han2 Green, but he will now move on and face Beton from Swoop Racers on Cheered Blue, which I think the deck's name I love Sabine or I hate Sabine or something, so it's kind of a meta call, anti-aggro. So that's going to be very interesting to watch, or maybe not interesting if it's too one-sided. However, seeing both Cad Bane and Bosk in the top 8 is really cool. So that's 2 Moons versus Vika, and then we have Han Green versus Boba Green. I think Han Green has a much better matchup into Boba than he did in the first set, with a bit more tools, like Kira now to stop, for instance, a fire spray, and you take DJ line, of course, and like Han has easily more value than Boba in this matchup, so it's all about Han not getting out tempoed in the early game. And then first seed also playing Boba Green, also a ECL version, playing against Sip with this Han2 Green. So that's gonna be interesting. Check out Take the Initiative channel. We're probably gonna see most of the games streamed there. And that was it for today. Thanks for tuning in.